with yourselves, we'll come back to Chelsea a little bit later in the show, people. We've got Arsenal news to come. We're going to touch on Manchester United and Liverpool as well on this show. Any questions, feel free to send them in to Sav or me. Do you think Kane's going to leave? Do you think Harry Kane is going to leave Tottenham? Do you think that Bayern are going to get this deal done with Daniel Levy?
Oh, tell you what, I think if ever I go to type anything on my WhatsApp in predicted text, it automatically changes it to Harry Kane now or Bayern Munich. I've talked about this. So listen, look, I think all signs point to he doesn't want to be here. If I'm brutally honest, I mean, look, all the reports are saying that he's not going to sign a new contract. I don't blame him. Why would you? This is the twilight of his career now. He's got 4 or 5 years left. This is a big move for him, whatever he does. Is it going to get over the line with Daniel Levy? That last 2 words, Daniel and Levy, that's the problem here, right? Mm. Daniel Levy is a pain in the backside to negotiate with, to deal with. A lot of Spurs fans, Terry, their stance has gone from you must keep him at any costs, right? You've got to keep him, to hang on, you're not signing a contract. Right, Levy, you've got to get some money for him. And I've always been of the opinion that I think if the number begins with a 9, I think if it's a 90 million sterling plus, I think then you've got a deal on your hands. All the reports are saying that Bayern are going to come in the next 48 hours with a 100 million euro bid, which is 85 million sterling. I think that gets them to the negotiation table. Then they can start talking about add-ons. Is there going to be, like, for example, Matthias Tell coming the other way? All those types of things. Pavard's been mentioned, all these things. So I want him to go. If he doesn't want to sign a contract, I want him to go. I think it would be the worst bit of business in the history of football if Harry Kane walks away next summer for a free. I truly believe that. Let the new manager have some money. Let him build and start a new era without Harry Kane. And I don't think it's as disastrous as a lot of Tottenham fans make out, Terry. I think for years we've been a one-man team. It's been everything we do in midfield goes through Kane. Everything we do up front goes through Kane. I think this new manager's way of playing, the pressing and the intensity, I think you're going to see a team game rather than a one-man team. So this is the perfect time for me. Move him on. Thank you for everything he's done. No hard feelings because we failed you to a degree. Take the money and move on.
I could not agree with you more. Sometimes losing your best player can hurt a club. If that player is key to a system that is well-oiled and you just can't find a better replacement. I don't feel you have a well-oiled system. Not right now. I think you did with Poch, but I don't think you do now. I think you may say, the famous example that always stands out in my mind was Everton's season, the year after Wayne Rooney left, where they came 4th, where people predicted them to get relegated with Rooney leaving. Right. And they came 4th in the Premier League, their best Premier League season I think they've ever had. Definitely their best with David Moyes. And I almost feel that at Tottenham, and this has kind of been created by Poch and by Levy and by the dynamics in the dressing room, the Champions League final for you was a key indicator for this, that no matter what happens, Harry Kane's the guy. And I think starting him in that game, dropping Mora, who got a hat-trick in the semi-final, arguably, well, barring maybe in the Bill Nicholson era, in my opinion, one of the most famous moments of your last 40, 50-year history, to drop him and throw in an unmatched fit Harry Kane is the problem with Tottenham. All the pressure is on Kane to deliver, but all the responsibility is given to him and not the other players. And I think if you take Harry Kane away and Postecoglou is smart about this, you suddenly go, right, Son, pressure's on you. Maddison, you're new, but pressure's on you.
Yeah.
Pressure on you. You spread that out amongst the team, and you may become a better team, because last year is a prime example. Harry Kane was amazing, but you weren't a very good team. And that's what's more important with this. And I was saying a few weeks ago, and Spurs fans always think I'm trying to say this like to have a pop at the club. And I'm saying, I think the worst thing you can do is keep Harry Kane this summer. You're going to lose him for nothing next year.
Yeah.
And you all know your owners don't like to spend. So if he goes for free, that's even less money to invest into your club. And what you don't want to, selling him to Bayern Munich is the best case scenario. I think second choice at this point would be to a club like Man United. The worst case scenario is he leaves for free and joins a Chelsea or an Arsenal next summer, which I don't believe is beyond the realms of possibility, because I don't think football players.
I think Arsenal is beyond the realms. I think Chelsea
maybe.
though. I think Chelsea though, with Poch and look. Do you know what? If you look at last season's Premier League, and you look at a lot of these seasons now, we've talked about this before, Terry. The kind of 30 goal a season man in football is drying up. Yes, you've got Kane, you've got Haaland, you've got Benzema, you've got Lewandowski. After that, there's very few players that do that regularly. I don't think there's anyone that regularly, Osimhen had a good year last year, didn't before that, So for me, I think the way football's going is you've got to spread that round. Look at Brighton. Look at Arsenal last year. Both finished above us. Arsenal's top goal scorer was 15 goals? Yeah. Brighton's top goal scorer was Alexis McAllister with 12, right? I think for me, listen, Terry, I think we're similar age. In my lifetime, I've seen Glenn Hoddle go. I've seen Chris Waddle go, Gaza, Lineker, Sheringham twice, right? I've seen Carrick go, Bale go, Modric go, Berbatov go. At the time, it feels like the end of the world. Then you realise, hang on, you just play a different way, right? Everything starts changing. You play a different way. And for me, look, if he goes, he goes. I'm at that stage now where I'm not going to cry about it. He's a great goal scorer, but everything comes to an end. We've been lucky. We've had him for a decade.
Absolutely. And you probably, I said it about 3 or 4 years ago, you should have cashed in on him when you could have probably got £200 million for him, and you should have reinvested that. And sometimes losing a star, I've seen my club do it when we've had brilliant teams and we had to lose Beckham. We had to lose Stam. We had to lose Rude, because sometimes it's personal. Sometimes it's a player slightly over the hill. Sometimes it's, Beckham's was more to do with Fergie didn't like the distractions for the squad because of his celebrity status that arrived. Ruud van Nistelrooy's situation wasn't that he wasn't a great striker still. It was actually, there was a personal problem between him and Ronaldo, and Fergie's opinion was Ronaldo was going to become a better player than Ruud. So he's like, I need to move one of them on and pick him Ruud. And he obviously got that one right. Sometimes you need to sacrifice. You need to say,
sure,
you have to, to move forward. You've got to cut something adrift. And it's really important to do that at times. I just think keeping Kane, it's almost short term, it will feel good. But in the longer term, I think it'll be very, very damaging to Tottenham to do it, especially if he goes and joins a bitter rival like Chelsea for nothing. Imagine they get him for nothing. And they get 3 years of him scoring 25, 30 goals a season, and suddenly Chelsea go and win a Premier League and a Champions League with him. That is going to hurt. He goes to Bayern Munich. Do you know what I liken
it to, Terry?
Go on, mate.
Do you know what I liken it to? Obviously, you're going to remember this. Many years ago, you guys decided to take Berbatov from us on the last day of the transfer window. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And very nice of you to give us Fraser Campbell back in the other direction. Right. Now, when we just won the League Cup, so this was 2008. We just won the League Cup, and we had our strike force was really good. We had Berbatov and Robbie Keane, really good strike force, and we lost both of them in the same window. And the short term without them, what actually happened was we went into the new season with One Day Ramos as our manager, and in the first we battered everyone pre-season. By the way, like we were beaten like Roma 7-1 and things like this, and we actually took 2 points from our first 8 league games. Right, we were bottom of the table. One Day Ramos got sacked, and what we did was we bought in.
Harry Redknapp came in.
Harry Redknapp, right? So we bought in Harry Redknapp, and Harry Redknapp, a couple of shrewd buys, not massive money, not world stars. He went and got Wilson Palacios from Wigan. Yeah, you'll do me there. All right, Bale, you go to the left wing instead of left back. Yeah, look how that ended up. Modric, you go from left wing, you come and play in central midfield. You got Jermaine Defoe in for not a lot of money, right? So my point to saying this is, from there, Spurs started going like that. So that's when we then climbed the table. The next year was the first year under Redknapp, at all, that we'd made Champions League football. And we had 3 or 4 really good years of we created superstars like Bale and Modric. They weren't we didn't buy them as superstars, right?
No.
But Redknapp created a team with an ethos. Everyone worked together. There was no one superstar at the time until Bale made that his own. and we looked really good. I think something similar could happen here with Postecoglou, who's very much like Redknapp. He's a man-to-man manager. You know, he's very much about galvanizing the squad, playing attractive pressing football. But some fans can't see past Harry Kane. And I hear fans saying, we're going to get relegated. No, you're not. We're not getting relegated if Harry Kane goes. We're not. You've got James Maddison, who gets 10 to 12 league goals a year. Sonny, even in his worst year last year, managed 11 league goals. Kulu will chip in with some goals. Richarlison will grab 5 or 6. I'm not going to put too much pressure on him.
But this could be the making. But this could be the making of Richarlison. So and I would say, again, one of the things at Tottenham, you've actually signed some decent talent who have been backup strikers to Kane in the last 8 years, where when you've signed them, there's been hype around them. But due to a lack of game time, and I truly believe the notion that they know that even if they deliver, they're not starting.
Yeah,
that causes that. Like Kane has been undroppable, and the problem is when you're Kane has very rarely let you guys down. But when someone's undroppable, it's a knock-on effect that can have within a squad, almost like teacher's pet. You know, the person at work that gets away with being late and being rude. If you do it once, you get dragged into the office, and it's like, hang on a minute, why does he get away with it? They can become problems without being disrespectful themselves. It's going to be very interesting. And people are laughing at Richarlison. Listen, the Richarlison you see play for Brazil and the Richarlison I saw for a good period of time at Everton was a lot better than Richarlison last year. I'm not saying you will, but if you'd have said, as you said back in 2008, after you lost Berbatov, that we're going to move Bale from left back to left wing and he's going to become one of the best wingers in the world for the next decade, you'd have been laughed at then as well.